Ba, 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 ba.
I'm going to let you do that by yourself. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another DTG podcast.
The first in a while.
First in a very long while, yeah.
I can't remember what the last one was. I just remember it was a very long time ago and that we've been denying the people what they want.
Exactly. I think the last one was regarding the PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
This is a slightly different podcast as we've decided, well, you at home have also helped as well because you've submitted part of the poll that was on Discord. It's going to be what do you call it, like a TV review podcasting-y?
Sort of. I'd say it's a watch-along, but we're not going to watch along.
We've already watched along.
What it is very, very spoiler-filled. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't seen any of the show we're about to discuss, then you're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, so I'm not going to give you a timestamp to jump to, but it will probably be the last 30 seconds.
Yeah, basically, we will timestamp our outro. Mm-hmm. And if you haven't watched any of Marvel's What If, then
and then come
goodbye,
back.
Everybody. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for the likes and the views.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, and somewhere below you will find links to buy our merchandise. Tim, watch what you're saying.
Joppy, you're fine. You're absolutely fine as you are. Don't change a thing.
You're perfect. Don't change.
You are beautiful in every single way.
Yes, I am.
But words can bring me... I am getting distracted. Let's get on to the actual content of this podcast.
The weird thing is, I know that that's staying in the edit, and that you're going to be like, I'm getting distracted, and Future Finn's just going to be sat there shaking his head whilst he...
I was thinking about it as well when we were recording this. Like, who's going to edit it? If I didn't want to edit it, who would edit it? I'm like, if Tasha edited this, it would literally be, "Hi everyone, bye everyone," because I'd cut out all the crap.
It would basically, in fact, like we could start over. We'd do the ba 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 ba. Hi, welcome to our podcast. It's been good seeing you. See you later. Goodbye.
That'd literally be it. She's like, don't need that. Don't need that. Don't know why Mark's even in this. Don't need that.
Finn, fuck that guy.
So yeah, Mark, we'll just get on to what we're actually going to be reviewing because we haven't actually mentioned it yet. There has been a little show released on Disney Plus recently. It is the fourth show this year to be released by the property of Marvel, and that show is What If? ...
You are aware that is you don't need to pronounce that part. It's a lingering question.
I will pronounce it however I would like to, Mark.
You have to pronounce it with that sense of wonder and just go, what if? ...
I'm now going to do that for every single time I mention it, and I'm going to regret it instantly.
You're so lucky that you are many miles away from me right now, and that I can't stab you with the tiny, tiny screwdriver that I'm currently holding and playing with my beard.
I'm more interested in the fact that you've got a tiny screwdriver just randomly on your desk.
I use it to take Game Boys and stuff apart.
Ah, I see. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to quickly just do a little quick intro about the TV show. So What If, as I mentioned beforehand, was the fourth in a series of TV series to be released by Disney Plus this year. Also to do with the fact that we had a pandemic last year and they couldn't release anything.
Has there been a pandemic? Did I miss something?
I don't know. We probably need to read the crib notes for it.
I've just sort of stayed at home all the time. It's been perfectly normal for me.
Yeah. I've not noticed any changes whatsoever.
Stayed at home in my man cave, avoided people, and watched a lot of television.
A lot of people were freaking out at the beginning going, "Oh God, I can't do this, can't do this." And I'm like, I'm an introvert. This is like the best news for me.
I feel if I did anything different, the TVA would pop up and be like, "You've deviated from the sacred timeline."
Speaking of timelines, this show, What If ... Its main premise is what if a series of butterfly effects happened in the previous Marvel properties. So in the first episode, for instance, I want to say that the episode 1 is probably the best episode they could start off with. It's kind of eases everybody in, everyone gets the concept, and it's basically just a retelling of Captain America, First Avenger. But the little twist is in the movie, you may remember that Peggy Carter, before Steve Rogers gets the serum, goes upstairs into the observation deck to watch. But in this universe, she stays and she watches from the same room. And because she stays, shit happens and...
shit goes down. Like the stuff that you saw in the film happens.
Mm-hmm. Stuff happens. Do you know what happens in the film? That happens again. But this time, Peggy's there to prevent certain things happening. And I don't know why I keep saying it like people haven't seen it before. You've seen this show before. Fuck it. A Hydra spy is in the room. It blows up the room, injures Steve, so now he's no longer eligible for the serum. And Peggy Carter, without even thinking about it, volunteers herself. And hence, she becomes Captain Carter.
Otherwise known as Hench Peggy. And this would be a great time to insert the Death by Snoo Snoo meme. Because would smash.
Da, 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 da.
I've got to admit, like all of the episodes, like that was a strong one to start with.
It really was. It's the best episode they could have started with.
And all 9 episodes were of a quality. It's really hard to pick one that, like, because it's really easy to go, what's your least favourite film in the MCU? Oh, it's easy. It's Thor: The Dark World.
See, I would have gone with Iron Man 3 because nothing happens.
I mean, it's a good Christmas film, though.
Nothing happens.
And it explores PTSD. Anyway, it's all of much of a muchness. Iron Man 3 is the worst Iron Man film, full stop.
I think if you ask the fans to name the worst Marvel movie, they would unanimously say Iron Man 3.
Hang on.
They said Thor.
You are aware that I can Google Rotten Tomatoes right now. The lowest ranked MCU film as of October 2010 is with a 66% freshness rating. So
That's
still
quite
average.
high.
It's
Top
Thor:
half.
The Dark World.
Oh, you were right. I do apologise.
Yes.
I disagree, though. It's Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 2 is the lowest of the Iron Man films at 72%.
See, Iron Man 2 still had stuff happening. Iron Man 3's plot seemed to go everywhere. It had Spider-Man 3 syndrome.
Iron Man 3 is number 20 of 25 films. This includes Black Widow. In fact, hang on, this is some bullshit. Did they just forget how things rank? Captain Marvel, Black Widow, and Iron Man 3 are all at 79%, but they've somehow managed to rank them as 18th, 19th, and 20th instead of joint 18th.
That makes no sense.
We're off topic slightly, but would you like to hazard a guess as to which the best MCU film is with a freshness rating of 96% on Rotten Tomatoes?
This is the pub quiz part of the podcast, everybody. I'm going to let everyone wait for a second whilst they think about what that might be.
Insert some ambient pub noise here. I wasn't aware that the Countdown Studio was a pub.
They had it on because the sport was cancelled.
It's a really good way of announcing last orders, though, isn't it?
Yeah. When did last orders happen at 4 p.m? Anyway.
Who knows? Yes. Sidetracked.
I'm going to put my hat in the ring and say that Iron Man, the original one, is the highest grossing one. And the highest rated one, sorry.
Close. That's number 3 at 94%. Although, again, bullshit with the way this list is done, because at 94% you have both Iron Man and Endgame, so there should be joint second.
I completely forgot about Endgame and Infinity War, didn't I?
Well, I'll give you a clue. It's neither of those.
Oh, is it not those? Okay.
With 96%, it's 2018's offer of Black Panther.
I would not have guessed that.
Do you know what? It's one of my favourites.
I don't hate the movie. I thought it was quite meh at the time.
This is a really nice way of bringing us back on topic, because obviously What If is the last acting role of Chadwick Boseman as T'Challa, as the Black Panther.
You are correct there.
And it's been really, really nice to hear his voice in character again.
It has. And I think when episode 2, which I think we're moving quickly on to episode 2, which was T'Challa becomes Star-Lord.
Yeah.
It was nice to hear his voice again, and it got a lot of traction online because a lot of people were going, this is the last time you're going to hear his voice on film.
Until the next episode.
And the episode after that, when he appears again.
Yes.
So this is the last series where Chadwick Boseman appears in a Marvel property.
Yeah,
but
with new
nice
lines, I guess, because they could reuse something for Black Panther 2.
Yeah, they are going to do something. They're going to do some kind of memorial at the end of it or the beginning of it.
I mean, again with a side note and a tangent, but Shuri should definitely be the next Black Panther, and that seems to be what they're setting up within the comics universe.
I think it's a done deal that Shuri is going to become the next, I almost said Star-Lord then, the next Black Panther.
I mean, I'd watch that as well.
I mean, yeah, that would be kind of badass. But that's for season 2.
To be fair, they have it's confirmed that season 2 is happening, and it will draw more from the Phase 4 Marvel stories. So post sort of like Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, that would be really, really cool. And I've also seen as well, I'll have to just skip straight to the end of this, that has a tentative and air quotes release date of 2022. So we don't have long to wait for the next season of this.
No, we can really hope. And I think a lot of what we've seen during What If is going to tie into Spider-Man and Doctor Strange.
I hope it does,
going forward.
I've really enjoyed the series.
I want a live action Captain Carter.
I think even, I've forgotten her name, somebody Atwell.
Haley Atwell.
That's the one. Has even said she would welcome a live action version of it as long as the best team are behind it.
I just want, they can even call it Hench Peggy. I don't care. I just want it.
Call it Captain Carter, the first Hench Peggy. I think a lot of Tumblr accounts and a lot of Rule 34 accounts were awakened after episode
Yes.
1 of What If.
Yes, they were. And again, jumping around what we're discussing, but after watching the final episode of What If, I would very much like to see a shipping of Captain Carter and of Natasha.
I quite enjoyed that too. It was nice kind of little kind of back and forth with them. I kind of believed their friendship as well. It was really, really nice to see.
Yeah, I would ship it.
To go back to episode 2.
Oh God, are we still there?
Remember that time? It was August 18th. Again, along with the first episode, it was kind of a nice way to ease people in. It was basically just a retelling of Guardians of the Galaxy 1, but with T'Challa replacing Peter Quill.
The man who can smooth talk so effectively that Thanos gave up his dream of genocide.
That was the biggest surprise, I think, on that episode, was to see Thanos just hanging out and being one of the bros.
Just chilling.
He's just chilling. He doesn't care about murder or anything like that. He's like, I just want to have a drink and roam the galaxy. That's what. Why not?
Again, a little side note. Did you spot the X-Wing in that episode?
I did spot the X-Wing on this episode because I was one of those people who went on YouTube after the episode and went through all the fan-made episodes going, did you see this? Did you see that? Did you see this Easter egg? And I'm like, I didn't, but thank you for telling me.
Yeah, there it is. I like to think that it meant the collector has watched the Star Wars movies and basically robbed George Lucas.
I like to think that too.
Because I don't want Star Wars to be MCU canon.
I feel like Disney's already got Star Wars. They don't, and Marvel. They don't need to crossbreed, if you know what I mean.
Correct.
Anyway, it'd be too similar to Guardians of the Galaxy, but with lightsabers.
All that's going to happen is that Peter will cut his own arm off.
Something to do with a Power Stone or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, you just need to do that. So yeah, and then obviously episode 2 ended with T'Challa actually going back to where Peter Quill would be, which if he didn't get abducted by aliens, he's doing a regular job at like a pizzeria.
Yeah, which is a little boring. And they got Kurt Russell to come back to do one line.
I know. I'm still a little bit kind of, when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I'm still a little bit kind of conflicted when it comes to Ego as the planet. I get that's part of the stories in the comics and stuff like that, but I'm not fully on board with the whole his mum fucked a planet. Like
his mum got Captain America's autograph, and then there was this whole fan theory that they've had to, the Russo brothers and others have come forward and explicitly denied, saying, well, yeah, what if Captain America was Star-Lord's dad? And it's like, no, they don't need to have that much connectivity.
They really don't.
There's enough connective tissue in all of the MCU films to not need something so on the nose.
I like the fact that this series kind of serves, if it's just like a little looking glass into like what might have been, it's also kind of like retroactively filling some plot holes in.
I mean, to be fair,
going out of its way to do it, but like it's somehow like going, well, if that didn't happen, then this would have happened, kind of thing.
But as well as doing that, it's also opened up a few little bits and pieces where I'm like, hang on, this universe in particular deviated after what we've already seen in the MCU.
Yeah.
Which means some of the bits they're exploring are MCU canon.
Which is true, because there's no kind of roadmap for where they are at the moment.
No. So if you take the penultimate episode, which is What If Ultron Won?
Yeah,
the Russians have a backup of Armin Zola.
They do keep a backup. You know, you always must keep your files backed up. It's always a very good lesson to learn from What If ...
But that didn't change because Ultron won, which means there is a backup of Armin Zola in the main MCU.
There is. When that film came out and it had the whole Armin Zola twist, again, I had no idea what to fucking think of that. I was like, oh, okay, they've got a backup of an AI and it's speaking to you and it's from the 70s. Okay, then.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a few little plot points I just want them to tease out a little bit going forward in future. Like the Ultron head that was in Spider-Man Homecoming. It glowed. That Ultron head is still active.
I forgot about that.
Which means Ultron is still alive, and I am gutted. I am absolutely, genuinely gutted they did not get James Spader to return for What If.
Did he not voice Ultron? Oh no, he didn't.
No,
different voice.
No, and obviously some of the other like voice. It was this weird mix of like the actual voice actors and then some of the cartoon voice actors from like the Avengers series and stuff like that.
Like
and
Tony
then just,
Stark.
And then just some
not
other
voiced by Robert Downey Jr. at all.
But Doctor Strange is voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch. Hawkeye voiced himself. Kurt Russell voiced Ego.
Exactly.
It's such a weird little mixture of like, okay, we couldn't afford the big ones, but then you've got Chris Hemsworth still voicing Thor.
I think that might also be to do with the fact that obviously Robert Downey Jr. has pretty much finished his contract with Marvel now after Endgame.
That's true.
That's probably why he hasn't come back, or didn't feel like he needs to come back now that most of his story is pretty much done.
Yeah.
Speaking of being done, episode 3, What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes, was basically the Avengers die.
See, that episode, if I had to choose of the 9, it was a good episode, don't get me wrong. Everybody likes psychotic Hank Pym. But the ending of it, I think makes it the weakest episode of all 9. And I know they cycle back round to at the end of the last episode of the series. But just like, oh yeah, the planet submitted to Loki.
Yeah. It did seem a little bit like, and we'll throw Loki in there because we kind of writ ourselves into a corner here.
Yeah, so how do we make this interesting? I know. We'll actually get Tom Hiddleston back to voice Loki, and the planet will just be like, yay, Loki!
He likes that paycheck, doesn't he?
he do.
We're going to give you a TV series, and we're going to give you a voice acting part in another TV series where you play the same character.
Yeah, exactly. Your variations of, because he also voiced Frost Giant Loki, who myself and Tasha now affectionately refer to as Brokey.
It is Brokey.
It is Brokey.
And that scene, jumping ahead to, I think, Party Thor,
episode 7.
That scene was such a surprise as well when he just rocked up in Las Vegas and we're like, oh god, shit's going to happen. It was like, oh, no, they're friends.
My brother from another mother.
Exactly. And we're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a good ride then.
Yeah. Do you know what? I know we're jumping around here, but they definitely missed an opportunity in episode 7 with Party Thor of a reversal of Get Help, because obviously Brokey is a lot bigger than Thor.
Yes. This is very true.
Also, Darcy married Howard the Duck.
That was a weird side turn, wasn't it?
That's a complete reference to, is it Leah Michelle from Back to the Future when she starred in the original Howard the Duck film and married him and fucked her duck?
I didn't realise it was a reference, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it's intended to be a reference to the plot of that film, but it's also, just a very strange thing to have happened.
That was another thing I forgot to mention from episode 2, is that Howard the Duck returns and is voiced by Seth Green again.
Yes.
But yeah, so episode 3 was what if the world lost its mightiest heroes? What if the Avengers got killed off by a random force?
Even dead, he smells like lavender.
It did answer the question of what if Ant-Man went up the butt of Thanos, what would happen?
It genuinely did answer. And it happens again in the zombie episode.
It does happen again in the zombie episode.
Where Hope gets covered in Sharon. It's like, stop proving that Ant-Man... In fact, right, jumping around again to Ultron...
This was supposed to be in some kind of order, but like, fuck it. Let's talk about the whole series.
Fuck it. Let's just talk about the fact that Ant-Man and Vision between them have both in one shot had the opportunity to kill Thanos, because Ultron just cut the fucker in half.
A lot of memes on Facebook have seen that scene where Vision's like, nah, fuck you, you're becoming 2 parts.
Especially like jumping to the free guy. What the shit?
Yeah.
With Chris Evans.
Spoilers
for Free Guy. But yeah, so Thanos could have been defeated by Ant-Man just expanding inside of him. Mm-hmm. Or Vision just going, I'm going to cut you in half now.
Bye.
I'm going to bisect you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I kind of like that episode. I liked episode 3. I liked Avengers Die. Because it started the tradition of let's kill Tony Stark as quickly as possible.
I was about to say that. It's like, how many times do I have to watch this man die?
This guy has died no less than about 5 times this whole series. And it's pretty much the same time, in the same way as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that. I like the fact that, because it took me a while in episode 3 to kind of figure out where the Hulk was in it, because obviously they were referring to the Edward Norton Hulk.
Yes, they were.
Edward Norton's no longer canon.
And it's really, really good to see Disney actually turn around and go, we did do a little MCU crossover at the end where Tony turns up and speaks to General Ross. Mm-hmm. So let's acknowledge the fact that it is canon. And yeah, we're right. We will replace Ed Norton's likeness with Mark Ruffalo. But let's roll with it.
Mm-hmm. Although I still think they should do a Hulk movie, because I'm not counting for Ragnarok, because that's Thor's movie. It's got his name on it, not Hulk's number.
The problem is, and it's the reason why it wasn't Thor and Hulk, like Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah.
The problem is that despite the fact that Disney owns Marvel and Fox and gives them the rights and the licenses to the vast majority of Marvel characters, when it comes to film projects. Through some
Sorry, Venom.
weird...
Sorry, Spider-Man.
Yeah. Although saying that, obviously Venom is out in the UK in like 9 days. Universal own the rights to the Hulk.
I didn't know that.
Which is why the Hulk can only appear in other heroes films or in ensemble films, cannot have his own movie.
That's really crap for Ruffalo. He's like, you're always going to be the side character, you never give me the main hero.
Exactly, exactly.
No one wants to be someone's side salad.
Which I think is, again with the spoilers, but I think is potentially as to why when Mark Ruffalo makes his cameo at the end of Shang-Chi, he's not Professor Hulk. He is just Bruce Banner.
Just him.
Just him. Just Bruce chilling with his arm in a sling.
And I haven't seen this 10 Rings yet.
You need to. It's really, really good. I won't speak any more about it. All I'll say is that like I didn't know a lot about sort of like Black Panther and Guardians of the Galaxy when I went into those movies. I had a passing knowledge because of comics.
Yeah.
But Shang-Chi, as far as my sort of geek credentials are concerned, was brand new to me.
I think I was in the same boat as you. When they dropped Shang-Chi 10 Rings, my mind just went, what?
Yeah, who's this guy? Obviously, I know about the Mandarin and all that side of it from the cartoons and the comics and whatever. But it's a nice fresh take on it. And just to loop back to the earlier point, it is currently joint 5th on Rotten Tomatoes with 92%.
That's pretty good.
To give you an idea of how good it is, it's joint with Spider-Man: Homecoming and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Pretty highly rated then for a hero that we know nothing about.
Yep.
But then again, I would say the same thing about Scarlet Witch and Vision before WandaVision. I didn't know much about their story or backstory until that series. And I was like, yeah, I like these guys now.
Yeah.
So that was episode 3. I've talked enough about that. Let's go to episode 4, which was Evil Doctor Strange.
Do you know what?
As I summarised it.
Absolutely fucking loved that episode. It's one of my favourites, and I really, really want Evil Doctor Strange to make an appearance in Multiverse of Madness.
I think it's pretty much set in stone. It's probably going to happen.
Because he's not even, like, evil. You know, like calling him evil just sort of seems to be doing him a disservice. He's just really... His motivation
flawed.
was misplaced. He's a very flawed character.
The episode's like if he lost his heart instead of his hands. So
yeah,
he's acting out of a need to be with the person he loves, but he knows that he can never get her.
But tries his damnedest.
Yeah, he tries his damnedest to break the laws of time to get her to be alive again.
Nice little rollback to obviously then when obviously Doctor Strange is summoning all of the demons to absorb their powers. He summons the Hydra demon from episode 1.
He does, and he also summons Dormammu from the Doctor Strange movie.
Yes, I've come to bargain.
Mm-hmm. Now I will be you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it. I love these kind of stories where they do like what if they went back in time and tried to stop this thing, but they can't have that thing because it'll always find a way of happening again. Like
I don't know, because I would have quite happily watched a What If episode where it's what if War Machine went back in time and killed baby Thanos.
And became the new Thanos.
There's an alternate timeline within the comics, which sort of folds then back into the main timeline, where the future Ghost Rider, who is actually the Punisher and has the Power Galactic as the Herald of Galactus.
OP.
Yeah, very OP. Travels back in time to kill baby Thanos. Can't bring himself to do it, so adopts him, and Thanos becomes the Punisher.
Oh my god!
And everything all goes off the rails from there.
I can imagine. I can definitely imagine that.
Yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider. It's a comic series. It's a limited edition. I think there's only 6 issues of it. Very, very worth reading.
Definitely pick that up if you see it in your local comic book shop.
Forbidden Planet.
Yeah.
Plug. Sponsor us. Do things.
I was going to say, just going back to my original point, I love those stories where it's like, if you try and change one thing, it still happens. It reminds me of the scene in Groundhog Day where Bill Murray tries to save the homeless guy from dying. First couple of cycles, he just ignores him. And the next cycle, he tries to feed him because he's homeless and he's hungry, so he feeds him everything, and then he dies because he goes into shock. No matter what he does to this homeless person, he always ends up dying somehow.
I really love your choice of very current and up-to-date reference. Instead
it's from the 90s, Mark. It's not that old.
Instead of going, hey, it reminds you of that episode of Doctor Who where Rose stops her dad from dying and everything falls apart.
Oh, why didn't I pick that fucking episode? I love that episode of Doctor Who.
Father's Day. Season 1, yes. But no. You do Groundhog Day. I will stick with Doctor Who. You do Groundhog Day.
You picked the better reference. I hate you. But yeah, I love those stories. I love those kind of stories where it's like one thing you can't change, but no matter how many times you're given the chance to do it.
Yeah.
My favourite one was that he doesn't take her in the car at all. He was like, you know what? I'm not going anywhere. We're going to dance a little bit longer. And she has a heart attack.
And then he stands her up and she gets robbed or was it mugged
gets
or something?
And murdered, even though he stands her up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
So face it, it's gonna happen.
No matter what you do, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then that kind of ends with the most heartbreaking ending of any of the episodes, which was Strange Supreme in a universe of his own making that he cannot escape or alter it in any way.
Yeah, trying desperately to stop the universe collapsing as the woman he loves recoils from him in horror.
Because he looks like a fucking monster.
Correct, yes. And then he's left alone sobbing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like the fact that that's the first time that the Watcher directly interacts with any character. And he basically just rocks up and says to Strange, well, you fucked that up, didn't you? And just disappears
he helps
again.
him in no way at all in that episode. He's literally just going, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
It's like he falls over and he kicks him.
He's basically, that's basically it. The Watcher is the football that hits an old man in the nuts.
Yeah, pretty much.
For your Simpson aficionados, there's your reference. You're welcome.
Thank you. I got that reference because I'm an old fart.
Football in the groin. Football in the groin.
Football in the groin. So that was the episode 4. And then we move on to probably everyone's most popular episode that everyone wants to make into a series that felt like a pilot from an actual series. What if... zombies? ?
I fucking love the Marvel Zombies comic run. Like, I have the 6 hardback book collection on my bookshelf. I also have the 5-part Marvel Zombies Army of Darkness crossover comics, where it's basically the same story, but the zombies are caused by Ash from the Army of Darkness crashing into the Marvel Universe.
I mean, I love the premise already.
Yeah, the Necronomicon has a lot to answer for. Marvel Zombies definitely needs to become its own little series, and it needs to lean more heavily into the comic side of it as well as because some of the story points in the comic version is incredibly harrowing. Like in an effort to save MJ, Zombie Spider-Man eats Aunt May.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, the whole like Black Panther being slowly butchered to feed zombies is also a point lifted directly from the comic as well.
I thought they were just referencing the Walking Dead comics where is it Dale who gets his legs chopped off and he's still alive?
I have no idea because I haven't read them and I don't really watch The Walking Dead.
As somebody who's read The Walking Dead comics, there is a character very early on that gets captured by cannibals and their feet is eaten whilst he's still alive, and the twist is he's actually infected, so the cannibals are infecting themselves. Anyway, back to what if ...
Damn it.
It starts off with, again, everybody hates Tony Stark in this series. I don't know why. I don't know what he's done to deserve it, but he dies every single episode. There we go, I've said it.
He genuinely does. It's almost as to say, look, we're not going to acknowledge that Robert Downey Jr.
It's not even that he dies in this episode. He starts the episode dead.
He does. And then you see him die.
And then you see him die again. So it starts off with Tony Stark, Doctor Strange, and I've forgotten his name, Doctor Strange's assistant.
How have you forgotten Wong's name?
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, Wong. Zombie versions of them appearing in New York City.
Violently defeating the Black Order who have arrived a la the start of Infinity War.
Exactly.
And then you get the good line from Spider-Man. It's like, hey, you got Bruce going, don't eat me, don't eat me, don't eat me. Don't worry, I'm just your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Oh yeah? Then what happens in the neighborhood?
Yeah. This happened to the neighborhood.
Yeah. Oh, zombies happen. But I mean, going back again to watching Iron Man die.
Yeah.
Getting Tony Stark out of the way really early did obviously then give the perfect opportunity and open up the narrative to allow Happy to be there.
Yeah.
And have the gauntlet and just be like, blam, blam, blam.
Blam, blam, blam.
and then when he's dragged off into the darkness later in the episode, just that final little blam after a little pause.
I love Happy. Happy is amazing.
I took it. Like I think that's my greatest Happy moment after the part in Far From Home where it starts playing AC/DC. He's like, I love Black Sabbath.
I remember that.
And he just looks he's so proud that, like, oh my god, Tony's protege, he's working on his suit, he's doing all the cool little holograph things. Put some music on. I love Black Sabbath.
It reminds me, because I'm got to that age now, it reminds me of when you make a reference to something in front of people who are younger than you and they have no idea what you're talking about. You feel like 1,000 years old.
I'm quickly checking that it is Black Sabbath. Oh no, that was it. I love Led Zeppelin.
Oh yeah.
I love Led Zeppelin, and it's not. It's AC/DC's playing.
I remember I think I made a reference to like Busted or something like that, like ages ago, to like a younger colleague at work, and I'm like, "What's Busted?" And I'm like, "Get the hell out of my workplace."
They're like McFly's big brothers. Who's
they
McFly?
Yeah, so that was What If Zombies, and that's probably one of the most popular episodes of the season. I think I'm speaking out of turn by saying that. Yeah, it had everybody in there. I like the fact it followed the structure of a group of survivors that slowly get picked off one by one as the story develops.
There's a real oversight on the fact that like Spider-Man is doing the whole like experienced zombie survival guy, and then he conveniently overlooks the fact that okay, Hope died whilst a giant.
Yeah,
and we didn't destroy her brain. We didn't like put her out of misery. She just fell over after being cut by Sharon, whilst inside of Sharon.
She had a word with Sharon, and she's dead now
in her giant form. And you didn't think, we kind of need to deal with that problem.
I seem to remember like a scene where she dies giant and then she shrinks to her normal size after dying. Or that might be something I've just made up off the top of my head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's still giant. I'm not sure now, thinking about it. We should have prepared for this and done a rewatch.
We should have prepared for this. I said to Mark yesterday, I was like, I'm going to rewatch all the episodes and then I'm going to watch the last episode tonight and then I'm going to do the podcast. And I was like, I got home last night and I was like, I am exhausted. Yep. I have to be up tomorrow at 9 in the morning. I do not have time to watch 8 half-an-hour episodes before bed.
No, which is unfortunate. But going back to the bits we can confidently say did happen, how good was it to see a throwdown between the Hulk and Zombie Scarlet Witch?
Oh my god, Zombie Scarlet Witch was a thing of nightmares, and I loved
Baba
it.
Yaga.
I loved it so
They
much.
included Kurt as a character just to make that reference.
Yeah, probably.
Because they've got, like, if they were going to pick an Ant-Man character who was popular, they would have had Luis. And he would have rated the zombie. He would have
rated zombies in a toy car.
It would be Luis doing the video.
Like a toy Impala. Just like, really, you can't get me, bitches.
Just really fast talking. There were zombies. They ate the Avengers. The Avengers ate everybody. The world died. And that's what you missed on Glee. The little Buffy reference in it as well. That made me chuckle.
What was a Buffy reference? I haven't
Where
watched the series.
Spider-Man's got the little paper zombie and he does the grr arg.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, little nod there to Joss Whedon and his involvement with the Avengers.
That's cool. I like the fact that they honoured them in the series.
Yeah.
Episode 6 was probably moving on to episode 6. Probably my least favourite of the series. It was very forgettable, but it was what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark and caused World War III.
I really liked that episode.
Oh, I couldn't stand it. It was the most meh episode of the series.
But that was only in the whole thing of I really enjoyed Black Panther and I got to revisit the start of Iron Man and it was just nostalgia.
Which again had another episode where Tony Stark bites a bullet, or shall we say spear.
Yeah, he didn't really bite it and sort of slide down it.
I think it still holds up, and Tony's caught.
Yeah. But like the end of that episode teased us so badly. Yeah. I want to see a Shuri and Pepper buddy cop kind of movie.
You know what? One thing from Iron Man 3 that I wish was explored in more detail.
Go on.
It was kind of happened and then just disappeared and was kind of explained away.
Yeah.
Pepper Potts being a superwoman.
Yeah, I mean it was extremist, and they obviously came up with a way of removing it from people. But yeah.
Yeah, I would welcome more Pepper Potts as a superhero getting actually into the battle, stuff like that, rather than being behind a desk the entire time.
They explored extremists a bit more in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like the very first episode, there's like a bank robbery or something. They see like this centipede-looking device on their arms full of this orange liquid. Like, what the hell is that? And then like Coulson's there. He's like, it's extremists. It's new. Like, okay, that one line just explains like the previous like however many years of the MCU.
Explain it way in a sentence. That's the best kind of storytelling.
Yeah, it's new. Deal with it.
Exactly. And like I said, Shuri and Pepper Potts both wielding guns ready to kill someone. It's kind of a nice image.
And we got a little tease of what was happening in that universe, obviously in the final episode, as the Watcher is going around like the claw machine from Toy Story.
The claw.
The claw. I have been chosen. Yeah, all of that. Where obviously like they're running, like they're about to take Wakanda back, but no, he's gone from the throne room, and obviously the end of that episode means that he never returns there either.
Which means that World War III is averted.
Yeah.
So there's that one. There isn't really much variety to say on episode 6. Really, I didn't like it that much. I know you liked it.
Yeah,
I never liked it that much.
All it did was really like accelerate the Iron Man plotline. They basically went, Iron Man happened, and now it's Black Panther.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, they did bring back Andy Serkis.
They did.
You know, it's always nice to see Claw.
It always is. I do, obviously going back to what you just said, I do like the fact that they accelerate the plot of the first movie even, where they literally just like going, I went to Jeff Bridges' character and like, yeah, he's the bad guy. Security!
Yeah.
End of Iron Man 1.
Jeff Bridges in prison.
Yeah, in prison.
Goodbye,
Bye.
Obadiah.
So let's move on to episode 7, which
Party
I've affectionately
thought.
called...
Ooh,
What's
there
that?
was a hiccup.
Ooh.
Not a technical hiccup, an actual in-person, oh my god, I've hiccuped.
Have you
Because
been
I'm that
drinking,
excited about Party Thought. I'm not.
The official title is What If ... Thor was an only child, but no, it's Party Thor.
It's Party Thought, and I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah, exactly.
Party Thor and Brokey.
And Brokey, which is my new favourite kind of like superhero duo.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Natalie Portman returns to voice
Jane Foster.
There we go.
Yes, the
Which
new
is a nice
Mighty
little
Thor.
addition. I thought she wouldn't return to any Marvel thing. I know she had a massive falling out between Thor 2 and 3.
Well, I mean, she's coming back for Thor Love and Thunder now.
She is.
So I guess, like, coming back and doing What If was sort of her, like, yeah, I'm back, bitch, just deal with it.
Yeah, hi. It also included my husband's favourite actress in the entire world, Kat Dennings.
Yeah, I fucking love Kat Dennings.
Playing Darcy
Again, Death by Snoo Snoo.
Death by Snoo Snoo, yeah.
She, random tangent, she's engaged to Andrew WK.
Is she?
Yeah.
I didn't know Andrew WK was doing anything these
I
days.
wasn't aware he was still alive. I'm fairly certain he died sometime after Jackass 2.
No, his music career did. He didn't die.
I think they're too confused.
We can start fights in the chat.
Look, all I'm saying is that when it's time to party, we will party hard. Just like Thor and Brokey did in episode 7, What If Thor Was an Only Child?
In Las
I've
Vegas,
saved
of all
it.
places.
There's your tangent.
Yeah, I really like this episode. It's just silly and fun. I just love it when Thor is basically being an idiot. Being
And
a
full of
privileged idiot.
so many other character cameos, which just made it even better. You just got the Guardians just hanging out on Earth,
Yeah.
and they're only there because Thor's throwing a party. The
Exactly.
Grandmaster's there, and they're trying to make a catapult out of the St. Louis Arch.
Yeah.
Is it St. Louis?
I like how they basically destroyed the Sydney Opera House,
Yeah.
and having a party on the Golden Gate Bridge, and having the St. Louis Arch be used as a slingshot is the point where Thor's like, I've gone a little bit too far here, guys.
Yeah, this goes to it. But again, it's nice to see almost Captain Marvel fully cut loose and throw down with Thor.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
I am pleasantly surprised that the Marvel went, yeah, we're not going to allow this to turn into some sort of like hate fuck or, just turn into just straight up banging. It's like, no. Thor might have found his physical equal, but he loves Jane.
That would have been a very lazy, easy writing ploy. Just like they fight and then they sex. It's like, that's not how it works.
And they have little magical half-god babies.
Yeah. Although it did seem, at that point in the end of this episode, it did seem a little bit like they were doing Injustice 2, but Marvel edition.
Yeah, it did sort of head that way a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just having like heroes fight heroes, just for fun of it.
I suppose you're answering the questions there that a lot of people are asking, like, who is the strongest Avenger?
Depends on who you're talking about, because
Correct.
Captain Marvel is like a literal nuclear bomb.
Yeah.
Thor is a god.
I mean, if
Hulk
they
is the
do,
strongest, like physically.
yeah, and I was going to say, like, Hulk, if they do a comic accurate Hulk, Hulk's strength increases exponentially depending on the strength of the person that he is facing and fighting.
Which is always very convenient. It's always on a level pegging.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that might be a question for the chat. Who is the strongest Avenger? Put your answers on a postcard and send them to dot. Don't send us postcards. They are a dead medium.
We have a Discord server for that. We could always make a room that just says postcards.
Postcards, soapbox thoughts, that sort of thing.
The only thing that I don't get me wrong, right? I really like the ending of Party Thor. Where Ultron just shows up and the Watcher's like, what?
Yeah, because you watch it up until this point. The Watcher's kind of like very kind of
the Watcher knows what's going to happen, all of that, and he's genuinely caught off guard by.
He's very kind of hands off, let it happen.
Yeah,
with the exception of like Strange Supreme, which at that point is just kind of like kicking a dead horse.
Football in the groin. But obviously he's caught off guard by Ultron turning up.
Which is kind of like, it mirrors our reaction to it as well. It's like, oh, hang on a second.
But then that's done completely undone by episode 8, where you see how they first interact.
Yeah.
It's like, well, what? Is there more than one watcher now? Is Watu more than one person?
The thing as well, and I noticed as well, going through other YouTube videos that were covering the episodes that were going, that the watcher in the first couple of episodes doesn't blink. His eyes are open.
Yeah.
Can't see
Always
his eyes,
watching.
Like that. When it comes to Party 4, episode 7, he starts blinking.
Yep.
And as soon as that episode's finished, all throughout the rest of the series, the next 2 episodes, he's opening and shutting his eyes as normal.
Yep. As if to say, he's now looking away and stuff is happening.
It's kind of like, he doesn't know what's happening, he can't control it, he's just not expected to see this, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Which then leads us into episode 8, which is, what if Avengers 2 was the end of the series and they're like, fuck it, kill everyone.
Notice how Quicksilver is still dead.
It literally, like, they didn't even put up a fight. It was like, Captain America dead, Hulk dead, Thor dead, Tony Stark on the brink of death.
I watched that man die so many times.
At this point, it's just bullying to see Tony Stark die so many times.
Again, back
in
to
a
the
9-episode TV
series. It is just stop it, it's already dead.
I think it's one thing I can definitely confirm from the writer's room of what if ... is that their least favourite Avenger is Tony Stark.
yeah, because they didn't even do an episode of what if Tony Stark lived.
And everyone else died, it's just Tony Stark on his own.
To be fair, actually, right, there was, obviously, in the nights, because it's Wednesday, in today's episode, number 9, there was a Tony Stark that didn't die. But he's wearing armour that looks very much like it's made out of parts of the Milano from Guardians of the Galaxy, and now I want that story.
Yeah, that's true. And it's kind of like, it starts off, like, skipping straight to episode 9. And it starts off kind of like at the beginning of Endgame.
Yeah, like Thanos is dead.
Nebula, it's Gamora that he's with. It's kind of like he's merged with a Hulk suit, and it's Gamora and not Nebula this time.
Yeah, I
But anyway,
want that story.
Back to episode 8.
Yes, so like I was saying, so there's the backup of Armin Zola, which is just incredibly uncomfortable to know that actually Zola's still out there. Yep. Also, shout out to Toby Jones actually returning as well.
I like Toby Jones.
And voicing Zola.
Armin Zola and the Dream Doctor from Doctor Who
are
pretty much the same person. Except one's an Nazi and one's not.
Yeah, like that's the defining factor.
That's the dividing line.
Yeah.
It obviously helps that they're played by the same act. But yeah, I love Toby Jones. He's amazing.
Yes, he is. Definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you had the reversal where like Hawkeye dies in the fall instead of obviously Nat.
I like that they just reversed it.
Yeah.
Completely. It was just like, oh, and that was what happened if they stopped arguing and threw somebody off the fucking cliff.
Yeah. Just let one of them go.
Yeah.
I'm tired of fighting with his little robot arm. Mm-hmm. Bless Hawkeye.
I like how in this universe, Hawkeye and the Winter Soldier are pretty much morphed into one.
Yeah.
Because he's got a robot arm as well in this episode.
Again, more parallels. Mm-hmm. In fact, that's going back all the way to episode 1 with butterflies. There is no Winter Soldier.
This is true.
Because Bucky never fell from the train.
This is true.
Henge Peggy stopped him from falling.
But she didn't stop Steve Rogers from falling or getting into Hydra's hands. That was the twist on episode 1.
That is the twist. And I really hoped that we'd get like because they gave the suit a name, didn't they? The Iron Man suit from Captain Carter.
Hydra Stomper.
Yeah. That's the one, the Hydra Stomper. I wanted a Hydra Stomper Winter Soldier. And alright, they might have teased something similar to that at the end of the newest episode, because there was a little post-credits thing. Well, mid-credits, I should say. But yeah, it was just they wrapped it up again rather neatly.
Mm-hmm. And obviously that episode 8, finishes with Ultron becoming aware of the Watcher, and the Watcher becoming aware of Ultron.
That was fucking great, because it's the narrative, wasn't it? It's
genius, wasn't it?
Realising there's no life left in the universe, Ultron slowly becomes aware of the Watcher. That's me!
Scared, like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, now.
Pay attention to the Watcher behind the curtain.
Correct, yes.
Which obviously causes Ultron to break through the reality of his universe and every universe and go into the Watcher's dimension.
And when they are throwing down and crashing between universes, you get another Star Wars reference as they smash through Mustafar.
They do smash through Mustafar. I believe actually there's 2 Star Wars references. I think there's 2 lands that they smash through that are from the Star Wars universe.
I'm not sure, although that does obviously fly in the face of me hoping that it meant that the Collector robbed George Lucas, because if they went through Mustafar, that means the planet is canon.
Yeah.
I hope it's just a really nice little Easter egg only, and that there just happens to be a planet that looks a little bit like Mustafar.
I don't think Marvel can afford to have references to Star Wars, like knowing references to Star Wars, without George Lucas being like, cough up, bitch.
Who I don't know, because obviously they own Star Wars now, so.
Oh yeah, true.
But they wouldn't do it. There is no way they would ever.
Can you imagine? Because obviously season 2's on the way. Can you imagine if they do a what if Star Wars?
Oh god, no! I think they just get it. It'd be a step in the wrong direction for the MCU.
Or now stay with this. Stay with this. What if Star-Lord met Mandalorian?
No, that seems more like a superpower beatdown kind of scenario.
Because it seems it might be easier to do one where it's like a side character rather than a main character.
Yeah.
And fans won't be as pissed if it was like a side character.
No, I think the moment they make anything Star Wars canon in the MCU, other than the fact that Star Wars as a film exists in the MCU, there'd just be like a mass sort of exodus. It'd be like, no, you've gone too far. You've jumped the shark.
You've diluted the universe too much because now you've included a whole other universe which now has to be meshed together.
A galaxy far, far away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of far, far away, we're moving on to the very final episode, which is the one that was dropped today as we record this on October the 6th, 2012.
Yeah. Not dating the episode.
2021 even.
2012?
I've used the time stone. Sorry, I forgot to mention.
God damn. The TVA would like to know your position.
Yeah, so October 6th. You do it. I can't fucking say it.
The 6th of October, 2021.
Thank you. That was amazing.
You're welcome. It's almost like I've been talking for the best part of 33 years.
Oh, God. It was what if the broker... Mark
the Watcher broke his oath.
Oh, God.
Has it been a long day for you, Finn?
I've been up since 6 a.m. this morning. So
Good Lord.
It's currently 10:30. Yeah, so what if the Watcher broke his oath? Which follows directly on after episode 8, where Ultron goes into his universe.
Yeah.
The Watcher flees into another universe, makes himself known to people in that universe, and as Mark eloquently put earlier on, crane arms people out their own universe and put them in their own one.
Yeah, including Screaming Party Thor.
Including Screaming
Who just
Party
did
Thor.
not want to go.
He did not want to leave the party that early. He was still partying
Las Vegas! Well, I've never heard that particular war cry before.
I loved as well in this episode, obviously they materialise inside like a pub, and Thor's the first one to be like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, peace.
And does like a proper like a Bill and Ted Doctor Who thing. I was like, I'm stuck in the vortex, maybe I shouldn't go.
Yeah, maybe I'll stay inside the pub and have a drink.
Why not?
And order Chinese food.
Which is the same Chinese food throughout the whole series.
Yeah, it was just great. It's just the whole, like, is there a universe where it's just Chinese food that you can order 24/7 and delivers to other universes? And there is one. It's there.
This Chinese takeaway delivers outside of dimensions. That's how good it is.
Yeah, and I did like the little like banter between the Watcher and Supreme Strange.
Yeah, I did.
Where
like that
it's
as
just, well, you chose them.
You chose them. I was quite happy in my own pocket universe, but you chose them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Watcher takes heroes that we've seen in the previous episodes of the series. So Captain Carter, Star-Lord T'Challa, Party Thor, Black Panther, Killmonger, a variant of Gilmora.
Did you just call her Gilmora? Like she's one of the Gilmore girls? Gilmora. Gilmora.
A variant of Filmora.
Hey,
also
sorry, bit of a tangent. Tash has been watching the Gilmore Girls again recently.
Yeah.
I've never seen a single episode, and she'd had it on for a couple of days, and I was sat in the living room and then sort of just sat there watching it. And they're walking around the outside of the town, and then I was just like, one division. And Tash was like, what are you talking about? I went, that's the WandaVision set. It's the Warner Brothers backlot.
Oh my god.
Gilmore Girls and WandaVision are set in the same town, and that's my headcanon now.
I know a lot of movie studios use the same set.
Yeah.
Which is why Back to the Future uses the same set as another film as well.
Yeah, but it was just so sort of like the camera was, it just clicked instantly. I was like, that's Westview. Mm-hmm. And it was. So in my head, like I don't know the name of the town and the Gilmore Girls. I've not paid that much attention. But in my head, if you wish, but in my head, no, the Gilmore Girls and all of that cast of characters were enslaved by Wanda. That's the future they have waiting for them.
Stars Hollow.
That's the one.
And you're right, it has the same gazebo from WandaVision.
Correct. It was the gazebo and the little like bend in the road that made me went, hang on a second. Mm-hmm. I've seen this recently. If by recently I mean 10 months ago when WandaVision started.
I love WandaVision. That's probably my favourite thing I've seen all year.
Yeah. It's peak MCU television.
I think I just like the going back through time and watching all like how the old TV sitcoms was the structures and stuff like that, and revisiting them and stuff like that.
All of that, and getting the little nostalgia hit of the Malcolm in the Middle episode.
Exactly.
Having Pietro
come back, but it's not that. It's not.
Yeah, it's the X-Men Pietro, which started all those rumours, and then nothing really happened.
I really, really wanted it to be like, oh, and Pietro's back, and here are the X-Men. I really wanted that to happen.
Yeah, it's something. It was supposed to be the start of something, I think, and they probably will revisit it.
I'm sure they will. I imagine. Multiverse of Madness for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so going back to the episode 9, the Watchers recruited all the heroes from previous episodes to fight off Ultron. So they go to Ultron's home universe and make a plan.
And find Natasha, the sole survivor.
From episode 8.
Yeah, which says a lot about her training as a Black Widow.
It does, and she goes full on Mad Max in this episode, and I love it.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, so they meet her there as well. The big massive fight that ensues. Everyone pretty much dies about 3-5 times.
They get to the Joe when they look at the bike and they see the Hawkeye arrow.
Yeah.
That has Zola on it.
Yeah.
I turned to Tash, I was like, that is a really stupid idea. And yet that's the idea they went with. Like, putting a Nazi AI inside the perfected Ultron, as in the body of the Vision, is like, oh, that's a better option to the guy who's got the Infinity Stones basically taped to his chest.
I would say that my only downside from this episode, from being a final episode, is that it had Spider-Man 3 syndrome. There were too many enemies. There were too many twists at the end. So we had Ultron, who was bested by everybody, and Killmora.
Oh my god, it's been a long day for you, hasn't it?
It has.
Shall I summarise? Ultron is beaten by everybody, and whilst unconscious, Killmonger, having stared at and somehow reactivated the Ultron head that's never explained as to how he managed to do that, takes the armour, so he's wearing the Infinity Stones. Why didn't that kill him? Because Tony, having them on his gauntlet, sent all that energy through him, was clearly about to kill him. So unless that says something about Ultron's armour, I don't know, maybe. Yeah, and then Zola in Vision's Ultron's body.
Don't know what you call that character.
Just this Nazi Vision. It sounds like putting on some scary glasses,
Nazi,
doesn't it?
Yeah.
They start, it's like, oh no, they're my stones, I'll have them back. Like giving the genocidal Nazi AI who's loyal to Hydra 6 Infinity Stones is a great idea.
It's like an amazing thing that can
go
wrong.
And that's when Doctor Strange realises this was the Watcher's plan all along and seals them inside their own little pocket that universe, which he will now watch over in his own little pocket universe.
Irony.
Like some sort of Russian nesting doll.
And in that universe, there'll be another character. And in that universe, there'll be another character.
Yep.
And in that universe, there'll be a cake. And in that universe, there'll be another character.
And then everybody goes home at the point that the Watcher chose them. Mm-hmm. Apart from Nat, who doesn't really have a home because she was the sole survivor, so they drop her into the Loki-run world, where immediately Nick Fury's like, "You're not mine, Natasha."
Part of me wanted it to, like, when the Watcher dropped Natasha back off, I wanted it to go live action and be like, "Oh, here's a Black Widow that died."
Do you know what? It would have been absolutely fucking fantastic I think if Scarlett Johansson had not sued Disney.
If that hadn't soured, yeah.
Then maybe... I mean, they've come to the terms now, and it's all sorted, but I feel like the ending... Because I don't know how long it took them to animate it or decide that's the way they're going to go, because it isn't Scarlett Johansson voicing Black Widow.
It's not.
But I don't know if they were thinking, well, let's just do a little crossover here, and this is how we get a Nat back in the MCU. Mm-hmm. And then they went, no, she's falling out. Let's trap her in the universe where Loki's in charge.
Because that can't possibly go wrong, can it?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and I also liked as well, at the end of this episode, there was a after credits last episode thing featuring Captain Carter, where it is revealed that the Hydra Stomper from episode 1 was recovered, and there is somebody inside of it.
Yeah, there's going to be like a 90-year-old Steve trapped inside this giant suit of armour.
I waited 84 years.
I can't see any like logical reason as to why Steve would still be alive, unless they are now trying to do a whole like, well, when you went through that dimensional portal and emerged 70 years in the future, I was actually eventually captured by Hydra and turned into a Hydra Stomper Winter Soldier. Or
they could go completely like anticlimactic, and she takes the head off of the Hydra Stomper, and it's just a skeleton.
There's someone inside. No, there's someone inside. They take the helmet off, and it's just Hawkeye. Hi, Nat.
No, it's Howard the Duck.
Yes. Or no, wait. We've always straight it. It's just the Grandmaster. Again, shout out to Jeff Goldblum actually returning. In fact, that's the question to ask the guys that are now listening to this and would be on our Discord. Who would you like to see in the Hydra Stomper?
Yeah, if it wasn't Steve Rogers, like if Steve Rogers is out of the equation, what surprise character would you like to see in the Hydra Stomper?
Yeah, that's the question. My pick is definitely the Grandmaster.
I want it to be Howard the Duck because that'd be hilarious. Or because he hasn't been in the series yet, Rocket Raccoon.
That's true. Yeah, there hasn't been a Rocket. Tiny rabbit.
And that would just be like, ha ha.
I'm going to need that suit of armour.
Yeah, so just to remind you from earlier on, there is already a second season that
yes.
Is in the works, a 9-episode season, again, just like the first one. That's expected to premiere as early as next year. So I'm very excited about that. Do you think they're going to carry on from where they were at the end of season 1, or do you think they're going to start a completely new anthology series?
I think, again, they'll do an anthology and probably bounce between universes a little bit, but I would love to see the Guardians of the Multiverse be brought back together again. Obviously, minus Killmonger, because, I'm trapped in a pocket dimension with the 60 Infinity Stones fighting a Nazi Zola Vision hybrid thing.
I just found Killmonger's entire appearance in this series as very, very boring.
It's
like,
still better.
Get it, you're a bad guy.
But it's still better than Michael B. Jordan's. It's still better than Michael B. Jordan playing the fucking Human Torch in the fantastic movie we don't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like how Taika Waititi and Ryan Reynolds both just blank Green Lantern when Jodie Comer asked her about when the Free Guy interviews. Haven't you guys worked together before? Nope. No, we have not.
No, we did not. That did not
also,
exist.
a bit of a tangent. I saw a TikTok the other day.
Go on.
There are 4 Ryan Reynolds in the MCU.
Right, so I'm see if I can guess them. So we've got the character that appeared in Blade, played by Ryan Reynolds.
Yep.
We've got Deadpool, obviously.
Correct.
We've got both versions of Deadpool.
We do indeed.
The crap one and the good one. Oh, God, who else?
You're really going to kick yourself over this one. In the end credits of Deadpool 2, Deadpool travels back in time and shoots Ryan Reynolds as he's reading the Green Lantern script.
Ryan Reynolds exists as himself, yeah.
Yes.
Right.
so you have Deadpool, the character from Blade whose name I can never fucking remember, and Ryan Reynolds himself.
I just want to see Deadpool 3. Actually, whilst we're doing this podcast, I want to put forward my soapbox on what I think Deadpool 3 is going to be.
Okay, go on.
Because I thought about this ever since Deadpool 2 finished, and I think it might be a viable option for the plots for Deadpool 3. Everyone, bring up a chair, if you haven't already. Get your
Story
favourite
time.
drink ready. Deadpool 2, if you haven't already seen it, please watch it, come back.
If you haven't seen it, what is wrong with you?
It's been out for many years now. Deadpool gets split in half by Juggernaut.
Yes! I know where you're going with this.
Goes back to the blind lady's house to recover.
I want a 5th
the
Ryan
bottom
Reynolds
half of
in the
him
MCU.
is nowhere to be seen.
Correct.
I think Deadpool 3 is going to be Deadpool versus Deadpool.
I would hope so, because in the comics they did that. There was a Deadpool that was made of all the bits of Deadpool that ever got cut off. Mm-hmm. And at one point they were all just thrown into a bin together and just reconnected.
I think they're going to do a Deadpool versus eviler Deadpool, and that's going to be episode 3.
Yeah. I like this idea.
But yeah, tell me I'm wrong in the comments down below or in the Discord. But I think Deadpool 3 is going to be Deadpool versus Deadpool.
Yeah. So for the record, Finn is putting money on
my hot take.
Finn's hot take on Deadpool 3 as of Wednesday, the 6th of October, 2021. Is that Deadpool 3 is Deadpool versus Deadpool, and that a 5th Ryan Reynolds will be introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
And I agree with him completely, and now I want nothing else.
I just want Deadpool 3. I don't care about everything else. Bring it forward. That's all we want.
Yeah. And the only addition I would ever make to it is that I want it directed by Taika Waititi.
That'd be amazing. If you haven't already... Oh, sorry, this is a wild side note. If you haven't already, watch Free Guy.
Oh, yes, please do. It's currently free on Disney+.
It is currently free on Disney+, because Mr. Waititi plays a character in there, and he literally chews the scenery for the entire movie.
It's incredible.
Glorious, and I highly recommend it.
But to bring us back on topic, and sort of to bring us almost to a close, I guess, of this podcast, the first one in a while, is there a what if storyline based on what has already occurred in the MCU, that you would like to see?
That is a very good question.
And you're kicking yourself that you didn't think of it sooner.
I have been thinking about something similar to this. I don't know if it will change anything massively, but my idea would be, what if ... Uncle Ben was the one that survived, not Aunt May? What if Aunt May died?
Oh, yeah.
That's changed. Obviously, Uncle Ben was the mentor, and obviously Aunt May picked up the pieces after. So what if it was flipped round and it was Aunt May gets murdered and Uncle Ben has to bring him up?
Yeah, that's a very good point. I like this idea.
I don't know if it would just be basically the same story, or anything will change that way, but I think that would probably one that I would want to have in season 2.
Yeah, I've got mine, which I think would open up a whole interesting dynamic. Mm-hmm. What if the snap was reversed and all of the Avengers that we saw get dusted were the survivors?
Oh, right. So just redo Endgame, but with the
other
snap survivors.
Yeah, so like Iron Man, Cap, Thor, etc., are dusted, and you've got like Spider-Man, Black Panther, most of the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Does that mean that Vision would still be dead, though?
Oh, I mean, Vision has to be dead for the snap to happen.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, what if the snapped Avengers were the ones who survived?
That would be an interesting way to put something, and I could see them doing a episode about it, because they managed to fit the whole of Captain America into one episode, and the whole of Guardians of the Galaxy into one half-an-hour episode. So they could do it.
I'd like a twist as well. I'd like that to happen. And they still lose because the way I see it, like Endgame, you couldn't have won Endgame without those specific Avengers. It'd be really interesting to see what loophole they find for it.
Yeah. Because Stephen Strange would be dead at that point.
Yeah, he would be.
Stephen Strange would be snapped away, so they couldn't rely on him to find out what the actual right way of doing it would be.
Tony wouldn't be there to invent the time travel that was needed.
Yeah.
Ant-Man would be the only constant because he would still be in the quantum realm.
He would.
So Ant-Man survives in both scenarios.
Unless they could kind of explain it away by like, they go into the quantum realm and that somehow rewinds time.
I don't know, because it goes against the established rules, doesn't it? There had to be an entire machine built for time travel.
It does.
So
again, I don't write for Marvel. So that's up for the writers to deal with.
Guys, if you're listening, there you go. You're welcome.
Kevin Feige is looking for writers.
if you can give Defending the Game and me, Mark Smith, a writing credit.
Yeah,
for
sorry.
That,
my Deadpool 3 plot stops this. That's trademark Finn. Okay, thank you very much for that.
I will accept my money in unmarked bills.
To be dropped off in a park of my choosing.
Buy a man in a Mickey Mouse suit.
Why Mickey Mouse?
Because it's Disney. True. Disney money.
Very true.
In fact, actually, I want to clarify. I want real, spendable, in-the-world currency, not Disney dollars.
Monopoly money. That's what you get. For your like.
Yes. But there you go.
I'm waiting now for Tasha to put a package under your pillow and it just says, I owe you one Disney fortune.
It's just signed with a little mouse handprint.
What if Mickey Mouse was an Avenger?
Oh, Christ.
Although that's kind of blending into like Kingdom Hearts territory there, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could go on all day about what ifs.
That's the whole point. Obviously, there is a genuine run from many years ago of a what if comic, and they are worth picking up and giving a read to. And I hope that obviously the writers of Series 2 give them a little view as well.
Oh, another one would be good. In the similar vein to zombies would be what if Deadpool killed the Avengers? Because that's another popular comic series.
Yeah. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because he had to do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All worth it. So yeah, now you've got Deadpool in the MCU because he has already done his little crossover with Korg.
He has.
It's something that they should do. Unfortunately, it does mean that I will once again watch Tony Stark die.
The writers in the next episode were like, right, okay, what if Tony Stark never lived?
What if Howard Stark died before Tony was born?
What if Howard Stark's wife was barren? What about
what if Howard Stark was hitting the groin with a football?
The thing is, I don't mind Tony Stark that much. I really don't mind him.
I really like. He's one of those perfectly cast characters, and the writing for him was great and everything like that. But I've watched that man die far too many times now.
They're just relishing the fact they can't get Robert Downey Jr. to do it. It's like, oh, fuck it, I'm killing him.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter anyway. I'm just going to kill him off. It doesn't matter.
I'll tell you what I do want to see more of in What If stories. Zombie Hunter Spider-Man. I want him with...
Well, that's its own series.
Yeah, that's it. Just let him go off and and fuck around in the multiverse for a bit.
That would be amazing. Then you can also bring in the What If Uncle Ben storyline as well, because then maybe Aunt May's a zombie now.
Yeah, you could do. Oh man, MCU Aunt May. Doc Ock is gonna have a fucking heart attack when he sees Marissa Tomei for the first time. Aunt May's superpower is to be peak MILF. Like, that's the only reason that Party Thor is so infatuated with Jane Foster is that he didn't invite Aunt May.
Just imagining Aunt May. Like, the Avengers are assembling in New York, and then Aunt May just walks into the middle of them and just, like, opens her hands out, just going, ah.
Just does a flash of back.
And the big band just like, nah, I'll come back later.
We have definitely gone off topic. I am now distracted.
What if Aunt May?
What if Tony and Aunt May hooked up? What emotional scars would that give Spider-Man?
Oh yeah, no, he'd have a definite crisis of character there. Like, he's Memento, but now he's actually my father figure. And
my father figure is now my stepfather, step-uncle, kind of.
What does that make Happy? Is Happy related to me now?
What that makes Happy is very upset. Because you know they were banging.
Well, that makes Happy is very upset.
There you go.
I don't think we could top that.
You're welcome. We've peaked. That's it. We have peaked. This is probably a good place to end this podcast because we're not getting any better than that, are we?
I should have told me, which I did. This is my assistant, very upset.
My head of security, clinically depressed.
They're just the bam bam bits, just very like half-hearted. Bam. Oh.
All right. This
Do you want to do the
twist.
outro? Because I'm just in bits.
We've done our whistle stop tour through and around and jumping about. There's Finn's phone going off, everybody.
Thank you. Sorry.
We've done our whistle stop tour through series 1 of What If ... You're welcome, Finn. And yeah, we hope that you've enjoyed this. Hopefully, you have watched it. We haven't spoiled anything for you, but if we have, shame on you.
We did warn you at the very start.
Yeah, hit us up in Discord. There'll be a link below this video podcast
to see which
thing.
what if scenarios you would like.
Yeah, and let's discuss what if scenarios you'd like and how you think maybe the ones that myself and Finn have put forward might play out. Mm-hmm. But also, podcast topics do you want?
Yeah,
we're here. We'll talk about anything. We might not like it. We might not even have seen it.
We talk about bullshit all the time.
I can bullshit anything.
Mm-hmm.
You give me a topic, I'll do a podcast on it. I don't care.
You know what I was trying to do earlier on as well? I was trying to get Tasha to come on as well because Tasha is a very opinionated lady. And
yes, she is.
She would be perfect on a podcast.
She did the COVID one that we first did.
She did the COVID one, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should do. I think an easy one next time would be a Halloween one. That'd be a nice easy one to do.
Yeah. What if Halloween, like October, was actually
not every
emo
podcast
pride?
starts with what if, Mark.
It does now.
Every single podcast ends in ...
Also, what other cinematic universes or sort of film universes, etc., do you think would benefit from a what if style series? Because the first one I'd put forward is Star Trek
or Star Wars. Let's talk about Disney films. So Toy Story. Let's not do that.
What if?
What if they were just a toy?
Yes, exactly. What if you don't have a friend in me? Anyway, we've now fully departed from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We've strayed into territory unintended.
If we talk any more, I think Disney might sue us for breaking all of their storyline.
Well, I'll pay them in Disney dollars as well.
Mm-hmm. So, if you like what you've seen, what you listened to today, I almost said seen then. This is a podcast, no one can see us. If you like what you listened to today, I've been Finn.
I was about to say that the voice in your mouth has been Mark. I'm like, no, because you're not on screen.
You're in the ether with me, Mark.
I'm here floating in the void. I am in your ear holes and my name is Mark.
And this has been another podcast by DTG. We discussed what if ... Let us know if you want any more of this. We'll be in Discord. I'm trying to upload this very shortly. Obviously, you'll find out before Mark does when this gets uploaded. But in the meantime, everyone, Have a really lovely evening, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody, and thank you for listening. Why don't you take this opportunity to scroll down the page slightly and look at our Redbubble link. There you will find a selection of Defending the Game merchandise that you can purchase for a low, low price, and every penny supports the channel.